Deeper learning works because there's purpose behind it and there's meaningful connection for kids. And at the same time for teachers too, I don't believe that being a teacher and doing the same thing every year, day in, day out, is the way to go. I mean, teachers need to be growing and learning just as much as students do. In deeper learning, the approach really pushes the envelope in terms of really getting to know your kids. You can't do the same thing all the time. You really need to adapt it based on who's in your classroom, where they're coming from, racial background, socioeconomics, like those things really matter. And deeper learning, I think, really provides some windows to create meaningful and purposeful learning. Entry points completely depends on who those students are in your classroom, because those needs are really different. So, you have to go above and beyond to know your kids, to know what they need, and to know how the learning can be meaningful and purposeful for them. That's where those entry points come in. And it doesn't need to be super complicated, but you know what? The second that you can hook kids emotionally, those are those entry points. I've been thinking a lot about this question about what is your why? And partly I've been thinking about that more for my own work as an educator and doing this work. Because I started to question that. I was questioning, why am I doing this? And deeper learning and the approach, it pushes you. I mean, this isn't easy work, to be a teacher and approaching your classroom and your students in this way, it's hard. But it works because it creates a meaningful environment for kids. And it allows you to constantly be evolving as a professional. I think that the second you stop growing as a teacher, not just as here's the information and I'm giving this to you, but as a human being in the work, the second that you stop growing, then you've lost them. So from my perspective, if you don't have an equity mindset, if you aren't really conscious about barriers that come up in order to really create a deeper learning environment that is meaningful for kids, you really have to acknowledge your own views on equity and what that is, and just really be aware of it, particularly in the design of what you're doing. You can't have deeper learning without an equity mindset.